Hey there folks, this is Josh, Stoney Ridge Farmer. Welcome back to another fun chainsaw review video. We're gonna have some fun today. We're gonna put these three saws back here to work. So the real premise of this video is so you guys can see the Stihl MS500i. Fuel injected beast, okay? Now the comparison saw to this 500i is going to be the MS462, and it's got a little bit longer bar on it. We'll talk a little bit more about that. This has a 20-inch bar, this has a 24-inch bar, and we also have one more saw that I want to show you. This is the 572, it's heavy, XP, 24-inch. All these are pro grade saw. This is a Husqvarna. The other two are Stihl saws. The Husqvarna is my saw. I'm kind of partial to it, but I do like my Stihl chainsaws also. What we've got to do, I've got the big dump truck over here, and we're gonna be cutting up some firewood basically. Let me show you what we've got on the skid steer, already loaded up, ready to rock and roll. And a big shout out to my friends right here over at Techron Power Sports. Guys, every piece of equipment on the farm gets Techron in it. It works, trust me, it makes things run better and last longer. So let's take a look at the skid steer here. So this is the new Gale skid steer, and I've got a red oak log on it, and that's what we're gonna be testing out. I have to get up all of this. Do you pity me? Some of it's still good, some of it we can put on the sawmill. All these logs were set to go on the sawmill, and what happened is I got kind of set back and I wasn't able to do it. So what we're gonna do is pluck out the white oak. I'll keep the white oak and some of the poplar that hasn't been on the ground, but some of this stuff is just trash. So we'll be cutting into that and deciding what's good, what's not good. Here's what happens when you don't seal the ends of your logs up. So educational moment for sure. On my end, I didn't have the sawmill when I got these logs cut, and I'm paying the price for it. Still got plenty of logs on the farm, but it's a shame that some of this is gonna have to go to waste. Now, let's get busy with the 500i. All right guys, this is the beast. This is the Stihl MS500i. This is the first opportunity that I've had to take a look and try this saw and do a review on it. This saw has currently the 20-inch bar in place. This thing will take a 16 to a 36-inch bar. It's a beast of a saw. Some of the features are just standard Stihl features. There's not a whole lot to really talk about. It is 13.9 pounds. I've got some specs down here. 6.7 horsepower, which is a little bit more horsepower than the other two saws that we're gonna use. And I'm not gonna go into all the detailed specs of this saw. You can go onto the Stihl website and look it up yourself if you want to. Chain-wise, we've got a 3/8" Roll-O-Matic chain here. Don't expect any troubles out of the chain, especially running a bar of this size. Chain brake, everything. It has the Elasto Start, which is basically a pull handle with a little bit of a shock in it. So in other words, it's a little easier. It won't jerk your arm off. When you're running a big, powerful saw like this, it can jerk your arm. There's also a compression release right up here, and this one has the wraparound handle right here. So you can fall or fell trees, however you want to say it, with ease from different directions. So we can pop off and access our air filter. This has the washable air filter, easy to replace, easy to pop on and off, just like so. Very, very cool. Man, just not a whole lot of frills really on this thing. It's just a nice, awesome saw. So you can tension the chain from the side right here, which is something that Stihl mentions, but it's pretty much something that's common on all pro saws. So we're gonna fire this puppy up and we're gonna put it to work. It doesn't matter about all the specs. We wanna see what this fuel injection does for the running capability of this 500i. Before I start running these saws, I'm gonna make sure that I have bar oil and I have fuel in it. Yep, it's got plenty of bar oil in there. And you've got a semi-transparent fuel tank right here. Okay, very good. The bad thing about having this full wraparound bar is, like a typical chainsaw, you can lay over on its side like that. I guess you can do this. We'll have to do it on the ground because it's gonna flop around on the bed of the truck here. As per usual, we are gonna use my awesome gas can. Guys, I swear by this thing. I'll post a link down the video description. This is by Husqvarna, but you've got your bar oil, you've got tools, and you've got your gas, your chainsaw gas. No cap to lose out in the bushes. So you just press down, just like that, and it fills up to the top and it automatically stops flowing. That should be on every chainsaw guy's list of cool things to get to be handy and carry less in the woods. Because when you're going out in the woods, you already need to carry 2 saws, safety gear, all this stuff. You might as well only carry 1 gas can combination with toolbox. Rad. Okay, let's fill her up. So you might be asking yourself, what the heck has Josh got on the skid loader? So this is a log grapple from Precision Manufacturing, guys. And I'll post a link to this critter in the video description below. It's perfect for bucking up logs like this. So it's a pallet fork and log grapple in one. So you can basically just buck all this wood up without having to bend over, which is super awesome. That'll work on a tractor and it'll work on a skid loader. So really, really cool. From Precision Manufacturing, there's a hydraulic cylinder right here. Just opens and closes like a grapple, except for it's a log grapple. All right, Safety Sam. Some might say, boy, Josh, I see other people on YouTube and my grandpa never used any safety gear when he ran his chainsaw and he never hurt himself. Well, I'll tell you this, my dad has been in the hospital several times from chainsaw accidents, and I worked as a trauma nurse for 13 years in intensive care unit, and I have seen eyes put out, and I have seen arms cut and legs cut, and let me tell you what, that chain is much, much harder than the meat on your body and your bones. It'll cut right through you, so be smart, guys. This is just some inexpensive gear right here. I'll post a link down in the video description for you. I just picked these up because I hit my other chaps, okay? I had a set of Husqvarna chaps. I hit them. The way these chaps are designed is so when you hit this, it pulls out fibers. So you hit it, it cuts through, it pulls out fibers, it binds up the saw, and it keeps it from cutting your leg off. So super, super handy. I also wear steel toe boots, and typically I'll wear the face shield. The helmet probably, for what we're doing today, is a little bit overkill. A jacket would be nice too. They have chainsaw jackets, but the helmet is a little bit overkill. The face shield is never overkill. So the face shield goes with the helmet and also the hearing protection. And these pro saws are loud, really loud, okay? Now, the log that we're gonna be cutting here is somewhere in the neighborhood of 20 inches around. This is red oak, and this is pretty much a rotten red oak log. We're not gonna be cutting up or bucking firewood for the sake of this video. I'm gonna run a few slices with the 500i, and then we're gonna grab the other saws and we're gonna cut with those and let you guys kind of decide what you think. Is it worth it for the 500i? The Husqvarna is probably the least expensive of the 3 saws. That's from HL Supply. The Husqvarna, I think, runs about $900 to $1,000. Prices are going up on all this stuff right now. The other Stihl, the 462, is around the $1,100, $1,200 mark. And basically the replacement for the 462 is going to be the 500i, and it's the fuel injected version of the 462 somewhat, okay? Not quite exactly the same, not quite matched up exactly on horsepower. I'll tell you, the 500i is higher horsepower, a little bit higher displacement, a little bit lighter weight, and a very nice, well-balanced saw. So we're gonna get it up here and I'll show you how we start the fuel injected saw. It's totally, totally different than starting a regular Stihl chainsaw. So the new 500i right there, isn't she pretty? When you get this cross, that means you're in big trouble because you got a nice saw right there. Saws are getting expensive. Is it worth it to buy a pro grade saw versus just buying a homeowner grade saw? For a farm like this, for a place that I have, I've got a sawmill, I'm in the woods constantly, this is totally worth it. It really is, because you're gonna get a saw that's gonna last you nearly a lifetime. So buy one and forget it, really. And you need 2 nice big saws on your farm or on your property. So the way this thing starts is you have a little bubble right there. I know some of you guys aren't gonna be a fan of that. It says to press it, I think, 8 times is what the owner's manual says. we're gonna go ahead and press till we feel resistance. There we go, that's about 6 times. We'll lock our chain brake right here. Again, we've got a handle all the way around versus the regular handle only goes around this side, okay? There is a button right here, the stop button, okay? That just kills it, that's it. So we're fuel injected, so I should be able to pull this, and it should fire right up. We'll push the compression release button right here. I already pushed it, I think. And to my knowledge, this saw was not started by the previous owner or by the owner. So let's get her started. 2 pulls should do it. All you gotta do is hit the button to kill it. Wow, it did great. Now I'm gonna drop start it, what you're not supposed to do. Oh yeah. 1 pull. Almost a half a pull. That's awesome, dude. That is awesome. Don't drop start your saw. You saw me do it. It's the wrong thing to do, but it's what a lot of people do. It really is. Let's get busy. Let's fire this dude up. I'm gonna let it warm up real good to operating temperature, probably for about 20 minutes while we talk about the other 2 saws. Here are the other 2 saws. This is the Stihl MS500i. I did a total review on this. I'll post a link to it at the end of this video if you want to check it out. Again, this is the non-fuel injected chainsaw right here, but it does have a system in here for winter and summer to automatically make some adjustments to the carburation so it burns cleaner and it burns smoother and it saves fuel, okay? 24-inch bar on this. This is a big boy right here. Very, very nice, okay? Next saw we're going to be using is my go-to saw here on the farm. Well, it's kind of my go-to saw. I've got a 660, MS661, I believe it is, and that is a big boy, and I like that a little bit better than I like my 572. When I pick this up, I can already tell it's a lot heavier, okay? Same thing, compression release, it's all pretty much the same. If you pop off this top, you'll get a filter system pretty similar to the filter system on that Stihl and on this Stihl. So these are pro grade saws, guys. They're not they're not chintzy saws at all. They're not your little what is it, Paulin saw that you get at Lowe's. These are Mac Daddy saws, and you got to buy them in a saw shop or at a local Stihl dealer. So nice. We're gonna get busy cutting, see what we think. I know the chain is a little bit dull on the Husqvarna, but it's all about feel today. It's not about the sharpness of the chain, it's all about feel. Woo, responsive. Super responsive. Wow. All right, let's just take a puck off of here. Oh, man, that saw is a screaming demon, dude. Wow. Okay, first impression here. Very, very well balanced, lightweight saw. Weighs a lot less than that Husqvarna for sure. We're gonna run a few more cuts, probably down on the end, on this end of that. Ooh, I burned my finger on the muffler. It was warm. Oh, that's funny. We'll move down here and we'll get a couple more cuts. I'm just cutting basically a slice, like a puck. I'll show you. This totally confirms that the logs are gone. They're way too far gone. They've been over here for 3 years. They're way too far gone to run on the sawmill. Maybe the white oak, maybe some of the stuff that's up off the ground, but it gets bugs in it when it gets like this, and it's no good for the sawmill. But it makes good firewood. All right, one more time. All we have to do is hit our compression release, okay? Get her down on the ground, start her up. All right, pull tight. Woo, that thing is a screamer. Wow. Oh man, I could be in love. It could be that one of these saws is gonna make its way to the Stoney Ridge Farm arsenal. And guess what? All that safety talk, and I forgot to put my face shield down. Let's grab the Husky. Nah, first let's grab the 462, because that's the direct competitor on Stihl, and then we'll grab the competitor from Husky, okay? This is the 462C, okay? 462C, same Z's basically, except for just a little more, I think this has just a little more displacement. The other, the fuel injected, has just a little bit more horsepower. So we'll get this guy fired up. I just sharpened this thing, so I know it's gonna be bad. Here we go. Hard start. Sometimes Stihls can be hard starts. Oh, not that one. No way, that was an easy start. Nice. Not quite the screamer that the other saw is. Okay, you heard it. I don't even have to tell you. You heard that saw bog. That's kind of strange that it bogged down like that. I did not expect that saw to bog. I don't know. Right now my money's on the 500i, dude. Holy cow, what a much more balanced and lighter saw. Let me get both of them in my hand and just feel and see which one I think weighs less. All right, so we're gonna be holding it lefty most of the time. All right. Yeah. Okay, so with a 24-inch bar on the 462, you're nose heavy, very nose heavy. Watch. It kind of swings down. I can feel a lot more weight in the nose of this saw than I can on the 500i. For my money, an extra couple $100, I'd get the 500i. Absolutely, for sure. I think that's what the future of saws is going to, is fuel injection. So let's grab the Husky and we'll rip into this log with the Husky. Now with this and many other Husqvarna chainsaws, we do have the bubble, the bubble that everybody hates so much. I typically give this about 4 good pumps before I start it up. I've got her in choke. The on-off system on this makes more sense to me than the on-off system on a Stihl chainsaw. In other words, your natural instinct when kickback would be to hit that. As it kicks back, it would press down, depress the on-off switch. With Stihl, not with the 500i, you just push the button, but with the other one, you have to flick it up. To me, it's very unnatural. I don't know, guys. Let me know what you think. It's just a little unnatural. So we'll go ahead and fire this saw up and let it get warm too. This is, again, the 572 XP. This is one of my go-to chainsaws here on the farm. Let's see how she starts. Many more pulls than the other one. It helps when you got the choke on. There it is. It just needed to be choked. Husqvarna 572 XP. That's a screamer too. Daddy still likes his Husky. I still love this saw, man. You can hear it is screaming about the same RPM as that 500i. I love that saw. I just love it. When it comes down to it, weight-wise, let's pick up the 500i and see. The 500i is lighter. It's absolutely lighter. Not that much. maybe within a half of a pound of each other. But yeah, huge fan of the 500i. So my next goal is all of this wood has to be cut up and loaded onto Tater the dump truck right here, and then I've got to haul it over. So that's the price that you got to pay to review a saw, guys. The Stihl MS500i, is it better than the 462? Yes, in my mind, it is better than the 462. Is it better than the 572 XP from Husqvarna? The jury's out on that. It really is. The jury's out on that. I've got a lot of work to do. I've got a lot of sawing to do, and we're gonna break in your saw, Tony. So thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate you joining me here on the Stoney Ridge Farm. Please pound that like button, jump in, subscribe to the channel. If you're here for the first time, this is the Stoney Ridge Farm. All around us is the Stoney Ridge Farm. This is a first-generation farm project here in the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains of North Carolina. And I'm showing you how to build land, build soil. We've got cows, we've got chickens, we'll have meat birds, quail, hopefully coming soon, sheep, goats, all kinds of fun stuff. A big, beautiful place. This was a briar patch 6 years ago. Now it's a cow pasture. Awesome, great time. Thanks a lot, guys. Please pound the like button. We'll see you next time on the Stoney Ridge Farm. Tell me what you think. You heard the saws, you saw the action. Which one's the baddest saw? Which one's the best? Let's get to work.
Come on down to the Stoney Ridge. Bring your wife and bring your kids. We're living life pure and sweet. That's the way it's supposed to be, Stoney Ridge. Woo!
Should be a tool. Hold on, redo. The thing, the saw weighs the thing on this end of that. Ooh, I burned my finger on the muffler. It was warm.